revenue. And what I'm seeing inside real businesses in 2026 looks absolutely nothing like what people online think AI and automation actually look like. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which jobs are about to get safer and which ones have no idea what's coming. The reason that most people don't see this coming is because automation doesn't show up in the way that movies told you that it would. Here's the picture that's in everybody's head. A robot walks into a factory, it replaces a guy, everyone gets fired the same day. But the reality is, that's not how it's gonna work. Real factories automate with boring stuff. They add a camera here, a conveyor there, a robotic arm over there. One station gets better, then another, then a workflow in the office, and 5 years later, the company looks basically the same from the outside, but is producing way more output with the same people doing higher value work. The reason that the average worker doesn't see this coming is because the changes look small one at a time. Nobody gets fired by a robot in a dramatic moment. What's actually happening right now is way more subtle than that. The headcount just stops growing as fast as the business. A role that used to need 3 people now only needs 1. When someone leaves, the company just asks, do we actually need to backfill this, or can we automate the boring parts? If you work anywhere, whether that be a factory, an office, or in customer service, the first signal is simple. Is the company hiring more people to do what you do, or are they buying tools, software, and systems instead? That tells you exactly where the value is moving, from repetition to judgment. Most people think that we automate to pay fewer people. We don't. I'm signing off on this $656,000 sale. On paper, it can do work that used to need about 4 people. So the labor math works out, but that's not why I'm pulling the trigger on this. Here's what's actually driving the decision: consistency. The system inspects every product the exact same way every single time. A tired human inspector after 10 hours, their eyes don't catch what they caught at hour 1. A camera doesn't have that problem. It's quality at scale. In 2026, customers don't accept "we had a rough shift." One bad batch can cost you a customer that you spent 5 years winning. The machine solves for that. While it's running, it's generating real-time production data that we can actually use, and that leverage becomes our edge. So why am I actually doing this? We're trying to grow output faster than headcount. We're not casually trying to get rid of people. One skilled person actually becomes way more valuable when the right systems are running. The business can then grow without hiring in a straight line. So what does this mean for your job? If your job is repetitive, you're not competing with cheaper labor anymore. You're competing with a system that never has a bad day. The good news, though, is that the person who learns to run that system is way more valuable than they were before. Let me take you inside our factory and show you exactly what this $656,000 cell does. A robotic arm vacuum picks up the filter and moves it down the line. It stacks it on a pallet, while another system applies a label automatically. There are machine vision cameras that check for holes and gaps, and a 3D profiler that checks for crush damage. If a filter fails, the system automatically routes it to a reject tote, and one operator oversees the whole thing. The job of the operator actually changes. The operator isn't building each product anymore, they're tending the system. They remove full pallets, put empty ones back, refill labels, empty reject bins, and then step in when the system hits an exception. The person becomes the exception handler. The single safest job in my factory right now is not the one that you'd expect. And once you understand why, you understand the entire future of work. Every problem in a factory is slightly different. One machine overheats, another one loses air pressure, another fails once every 3 hours for no obvious reason. A good maintenance tech walks over, listens to a weird sound, they feel the tension on a roll, they look at a machine for 10 seconds, and they figure it out. That's not something that machines can do today, and it probably won't be for a long time. Their brain is doing something that a camera can't do. They're combining sound, touch, sight, pattern recognition in real time. I call that pattern recognition institutional knowledge. Real factories are much messier than the YouTube robot demos make them look. Why is that important? Like, you see the figure robots all going all over Twitter that are sorting packages, but the reality is that's repetition over and over and over again. When you're in a real manufacturing environment, there's actually a lot more variability than that. There are very few jobs that are purely repetitive like that, but here's what surprised me the most. The exact same automation pattern that I'm running on the factory floor is now happening inside of offices too. For years, I wondered if building our own internal software was a mistake. Other companies use SaaS or rent off-the-shelf tools